to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Today we are hiding Beth with a penguin with big hair. It's so funny, I walk in and I'm like, I saw that picture at Target and I almost bought it. And they got it. It's so cute. It's a penguin picture.
It jumped in my cart.
It jumped in your cart. It almost jumped in my cart. It's so cute. Well, we'll move it so Beth won't be covered.
I'll let her be covered.
So now I gotta straighten out my shirt.
So this is the last.
Yeah.
Saturday's the
We
31st.
have one more weekend of May.
Yeah.
One more week of May.
Sunday's the 1st.
Yeah.
Next
Saturday.
Sunday.
I thought I said Saturday's the 31st.
Next Sunday.
Next Saturday.
So we have a week of May left.
When you
We're
see
arguing
us-
about the calendar.
When you see us, it'll be
The 1st of June. Yeah.
No, next week.
Yeah. We'll film on the 31st, but
But we're not talking about it. Anyway, right now, we have 1 week of left May. 1 week of left May. This is how my day is going. We have 1 week of May left. And we'll talk about what month it is next week when we film. We'll argue about that. Anyway, we have 1 week left, almost the end of May.
like Mulder said, nobody likes a math nerd.
Calendar nerd. So, we hope you're doing well. Grab your stitching and your drink of choice. And let's settle in for a chat. I think that's going first.
Yes, I am. Now I remembered. Now just that I'm going
That you're going first?
Yes, because I wasn't ready.
We talked about it right before we turned the camera on.
I know. I have the memory of a goldfish. I've been saying lately. So last week I had finished one of my WIP-GO called the Wayfaring Stranger. I had finished it. It's far from being fully finished, but I had finished stitching it. And I started on my second WIP-GO called the Raccoon, which is a cottage garden samplings year in the woods. And I'm already anticipating their next one. They released the first of the charts, which is the wolf, which is really, really nice. I really like it. But so I was thinking, I don't think I can buy those this year just because. And so maybe I'll wait till next year to buy them all at once.
Well, you still have all those to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, we were still lamenting some that we wanted to buy.
It's like, how can I justify
I
that?
absolutely do not need any more patterns.
Yeah.
But I wanted anyway.
So anyway, here's the Raccoon. And this was one that I had done very little on last time, but I mean, before I started this time. But I did a lot of it. I met the 7-day goal and I did like an extra day.
Oh, that's his tail, that big one?
Yeah, that's his tail.
Wow, that's cool.
But I did work my way down to do the cabin because I'm obsessed. So I did, of all of his body, I've done all but a couple of the DMC colors. It's all, it's 2 fancy flosses and all DMC, the rest all DMC. So the fancy flosses are this one pink flower I did up here, way up here, teeny weeny pink flower. It's the pink. There's all kinds of flowers down here that are in that pink color. That's one of the fancy flosses, and the other fancy floss is this kind of dark gray that's on the roof of the cabin here. That is the main missing color in his body. So I did all the white and the darkest gray. This $37.99 is the darkest gray, and did all that so you could actually see his face. Well, what's missing is in most of his body, and the color that's missing from his face is that gray that's the roof of the cabin there. And on his tail, I did the light gray and the darkest gray along his tail, the little diamond design shape that they have. And so what goes in between it is where the light gray diamonds is this brown that's on the roof of the main color of the cabin. And in between the darkest grays is that fancy floss gray in there. So that's, a lot of fill-in. and then on his body, there's one DMC color that's kind of a blue. It's all these diamond shapes that's only on his body here. And that's one color that's missing. So actually, theoretically, next time I pick this up, I could finish it. And actually,
Finish
part of
the
me,
whole thing? Oh, you just have to do the flowers.
the flowers, yeah. So and this green frond thing here, I did all the green on this side to get down to this cabinet to finish it, and then there's more green on the middle. So. Part of me wants to just like keep stitching on it and forget all my two new starts. And I was gonna say theoretically I could do that because I don't have a specific goal for my new starts. So I'm going to show right here just what I did today. So theoretically, I could declare that. Oh look, I met the goal. The other one, though, I want to wait until I go to your house to do some fabric dyeing.
Okay.
And so, oops, I'll get to that in a second. So anyway, my other new start, my first new start that I've been working on, that I just started yesterday working on it, is Let It Snow. This is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And this is one of the Jingle Ball Baubles ornament book patterns. So I think I showed this last time I did something from it. This is the basic cover of the Jingle Ball ornaments. There's one other one that's not on here, but so I did this lovebird last time this came up.
Excuse me,
so,
Beth. If you guys hear moaning, that's the other dog sad that he's not.
He can't come in. We blocked him. But so I'm working on this one here. Let It Snow. It's a little cardinal, Christmassy pattern. And so what I did actually was I took the blue fabric from the lovebird, leftover from the lovebird, and that's what I'm stitching this Let It Snow on. So I've just got the first, part of the border here, because I spent most of yesterday contemplating. I had a list of all the, I scribbled down all the dimensions and sort of like put the cross-stitch calculator saying, well, with these dimensions, if you use this kind of fabric, it'll be this size. If you use this kind of fabric, it'll be that size. And so I went through all my, my fabric stash and all that. And I had actually bought some fabric at Hobby Lobby. They have like 28 count even weave. And it's theoretically 14 by 18 is the cut on it. I thought, okay, well I could, because I'm doing Biscornus for cross stitch camp. So it's, whatever size times 2, right? You have to have the front and the back. And so I was going through these, I was thinking when I first did the calculations, I thought, well, okay, if one of those fabrics is the, the right size, I want to buy that, and then I could dye it and prepare for the thing. So I had bought some of those things and I was measuring them, and the 18 inches was actually like 17 and a half. So, and so I thought, well, okay, that would work for some of them, but not for the biggest Biscornu that I have, which it was, with that count of fabric, it was calling for like a 9 by 9, 9 by 9 size. And I thought, well, it would like, well, can I fudge it? Can I have and I decided against it, and I'll get to that in a second. But so anyway, so I spent all day Friday, most of the day, like measuring and cutting and trying to decide, should I use this fabric or should I use that fabric? And I was actually contemplating using some 46 count Bristol linen that I have. And I thought, I don't want to do another tiny count thing right now.
Well, plus, you want to really enjoy your
I want to be able to
your cross stitch camp things, not be going.
When does cross stitch camp start? June?
June 1st.
June, July, and August. Yeah.
June 1, July 1, August 1.
So anyway, this parade of elephants. This is one I was contemplating doing on. This is my other new start for May. I was contemplating doing it on that 46 count fabric, and I thought I really want to do that. So I was looking through everything I have, and one of the things I have is 25 count Lugana, and I think I might use that. But so.
Doggy.
Dog. So in this model, it's fairly neutral background fabric. It's Milk and Honey by Fiber on a Whim, and this 25 count Lugana is a little bit larger than this. This is 36 count, this fabric, and 25 count is a little bit larger, but it should be, the piece I have should be big enough. It's a 11 by 15 fabric, but I do want to dye it a little bit. And
Keeps looking at me because she's going to come to my house and dye
yes,
it.
yeah. So, but I was thinking of, because this is a very neutral, kind of color on the back, behind these elephants, and excuse me, and the design is very colorful. So I don't want anything that the threads are going to disappear into. But I think that a light wash of either the green or the blue that I basically have available will work for that with those colors that are back there. If I don't go too dark, like I don't want to compete with the colors in the design. But I think again, like a light wash of green or a light wash of blue would just give it a little bit of, punch behind it, so that it's not like, I had hang up. Anyway, so then the other things I'm going to be doing at Naomi's house for dyeing are I chose some fabric for the Celestial Sisters Biscornu, and this is the one with I'm going to take it out, but there's a moon and a sun side. And so this is 28 count even weave. I had, like I said, actually I will take it out just for.
Oh, sweet. There's a picture's going to show.
Yeah, but I mean.
The fabric?
The fabric, yeah. So it's going to be, I have 2 little squares that I'm going to be dyeing, and what I think I'm going to be.
Such a great idea for a pattern.
Yeah. What I think I'm going to be doing.
The sun side and the moon side?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That is something that Eve turned me on to. Is some of you may know what these jars are.
I saved the jar and I said, there was a reason I saved it and I can't remember. And then I went, oh yeah, I thought it'd be good for dyeing fabric. And then she stole the idea.
Yeah. Because I usually have like these plastic they're plastic shoe boxes that I dye fabric in usually, and I just put like a couple of inches of
well, we were using wee
liquid in it,
jars
yeah.
too, but I recycled all of them.
Yeah, so I just put a couple of inches of the dye water in there, and I wad up the fabric and put it in there, but I usually dye a big piece of fabric at a time, like I did with these, right? So it being a big piece, wad it all up in the shoebox size container, it works fine. But for these, since these are smaller pieces, to get good modeling, I thought it would be good to do it in a smaller container like this, and just to do it in the jar.
So you're going to do it like Easter eggs and just
Yeah.
longer and longer.
Yeah. So I'm going to do the sun side a little bit and the moon side a little bit darker, and then the other one, this Starry Starry Night Biscornu is for August, and in this one I have there's all the threads for it. They're all Bill Arts threads.
Yeah, we took pictures of that last week.
Yeah. And so I decided to use, this is 18 count Ada. But, because I think the model was stitched on 36 count,
That's really dark blue.
yeah.
Dark blue.
So, and the only color I'm concerned would, might be a problem is there's a wrought iron black, in this design. And you can see it's kind of, a little hard to see in the fabric, but, of course I have some leeway on it.
Well, and your fabric's not gonna be the same color.
Yeah, this is 36 count Mystic by Picture This Plus, and so 18 count is the same size as 36. And I'd totally...
Is it going to be that whole size? Is it big? This one?
Yeah, it's
It
a
looks big.
101 by 101.
No,
So
but I just
it'd be-
mean like it looks like a big,
Yeah.
bigger
Yeah.
than the other ones you've made.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But, and because I think this is just allowing a 1-inch margin, because of course with the viscose you don't need a big one.
Speaking of viscose news, I was watching Hands On Designs Flosstube today, and she said that some people are using these patterns,
As
and
viscose.
they're because they're squares, and they put them together like viscose
Oh,
news.
that's smart.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Because you haven't decided how to, because you
I
you
bought
made
a-
pillows of the first ones, right?
no.
Oh,
I bought this is the first ones. This
okay.
one is the first ones I'm actually finishing. And I bought a square.
I thought you finished up the autumn ones. I'm sorry.
No, I've barely started the autumn one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But I bought something to finish it on, but after she said that, I went,
That would be really, those would look really
Es
cool.
gibt Idee.
I really like that idea.
yeah, I do.
'Cause-
I do too.
So for my July thing, I kept talking about this before, and I hadn't pulled the pattern out of my pile, and I kept saying the wrong designer. This is ink circles, not tiny modernist like I kept saying, because I kept trying to picture it in my head.
You
I
said
think
ink
it's
circles.
no, I did recently. I did, but
Oh.
last week I think, or in times past, I have said the wrong designer because I didn't have it in front of my face to remind me, because I have the memory of a goldfish. So this is Ink Circles. Tracy Horner, Ink Circles, Forget Me Nots is her contribution to the Night Garden palette series, and I have the Night Garden threads back here, and I have the Eiffel Tower thread drops that I bought. I have the thread on there. But so I also cut a piece of fabric for it, and it's very small. And again, this is in my pile of fabrics to dye for at Naomi's house. So I'm going to be dyeing fabric and dyeing fabric and dyeing fabric, and have to make sure that I know which one is which. Yeah, and like I said before, I have to organize some, what do you call it, project bags or something to put all this stuff in. I might have put all 3 of these in one, just all my camp stuff in one
I
package.
have all my camp stuff in one.
Yeah, so because I'm kind of running out of places to put stuff. I'm not, however, running out of scissors. I was recently
You did not
consolidating.
buy more scissors.
Well, for that Forget-Me-Nots, the Night Garden thing, I have a little pair of scissors that I bought.
Oh my gosh.
She
And-
bought that
but-
during the recent.
During the not spring mingle. No, I mean during the spring mingle. Not Nashville, I was saying, but during spring mingle. So I bought the little scissors, and because I was thinking, I've got one in each project bag, but so I've got a new project, so I need new scissors. But then when I was consolidating stuff, I had finished some projects and whatever, and I had like four or five pairs of scissors that were unoccupied. I guess I don't need any more.
That's called scissor saturation.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I probably do have projects that don't have a pair of scissors dedicated to them, but so I have to. I'm in a moment of disorganization at the time. At the time, so right now, so.
I see.
But I think that's me.
That's you?
I just got a bunch of junk. Yeah.
All right. Well, I am going second. And I'm boring. I'm still working on this sweater. I did not do a lot of work this week because this was my last week of my job. So I have stories, but yeah, so this is the 3 rectangles, 2 triangles sweater by Stacy Perry. It's just an open, no button cardigan. And very simple. I'm making these 3 pieces at the same time. So I just was, while we were talking, working on the back. This is the back. And then these are the 2 fronts. It's hard to understand in this mess I have here. But yeah, so I'm working from 3 balls of yarn at once. And I like it because I won't have to, hopefully my short attention span theater can handle it a little better. And I have not had a lot of time to knit or brain power. But I have a week in between jobs right now. So I'm planning to, I have a list of like tasks like every day that I absolutely need to get done, like in the house, in my life, like phone calls I need to make, appointments I need to do, all that kind of stuff that I'm trying to get, like, now that I have this open time to get done. But I also am hoping to just have some knitting time to just knit. So that's my hope for
It's
this
not
week.
just time, it's time with your eyes open.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So hopefully I'll have, it'll probably be the same thing, a big blue thing next week, but hopefully it'll be a little bit longer. And I haven't measured it. I need 27 inches. So I haven't measured this. I don't know how long it is, but I know it's a long one.
Watch, it'll be 30.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But and I keep trying it on myself because I know my aunt is not much, she's shorter than me, or just at the same height. So I don't want to make it like overwhelmingly long. But so this is really all I've done. I had some ideas of things to do. I really wanted to make some crafts as going away presents for my boss and people in my immediate department. And I thought about it, especially my boss. I was thinking about, there was a lot of quilting or sewing projects, like to make like a lunch bag or different bags that they have out there, those easy patterns, that people make a video or whatever, and you can just take the dimensions and do it. And I kept thinking about stuff like that, but then at night I literally was like, I just don't, I couldn't
decompress.
Yeah, I didn't have time. So then I thought about, well, maybe this week I'll make a couple things and just like send them to her for fun. But I don't know. She's not expecting anything. It was just my ideas. Something nice to say goodbye and thank you kind of thing. But I didn't do that. I thought about it. And then I thought, I really want to come up with a design with you guys that with the saying visualize whirled, WHIRRLED, P's, P-E-A-S, because that's kind of a joke between my boss and I. And I even, it's written on her whiteboard, whirled peas. And I thought that'd be cute to make a little cross stitch with like a pea pod and pea vines, and just say visualize whirled peas on there, just for fun. So maybe I'll try to come up with something like that this week, and I don't know, we'll see. But that's me. I have stories to tell about my last week at work, but other than that, craft-wise, that's literally me.
I just realized that, one moment please.
I was thinking about
We're pausing.
Just for a second, no.
Oh.
I've been thinking it for a while. May is Brain Tumor Awareness Month.
And you're still aware of your tumor?
I'm aware of my tumor. And there's a kind of a logo out there that is like a line drawing of the squiggles of a brain with a heart in in one place that is used for the acoustic neuroma thing. And I thought I've always thought that would make a great cross stitch,
We'll
just
do
to do that, you know,
Well, make one.
something like that. Yeah, I don't have the drawing skills to do that. So
Okay,
I think about it.
so I forgot this. This. I do the same thing with the pattern. I'm always putting it upside down because it's exactly the same. You know, this isn't. So this is the design I was telling you that people are making into a Biscornu, and I've already done 2 of them. You only need 2 for a Biscornu.
Yeah.
So I could theoretically do those, and because remember the edge is so short,
Yeah.
that wouldn't matter
yeah.
for a Biscornu.
Yeah.
It just needs
Like
a back
half an
stitching
inch or-
a
yeah.
back stitching edge,
Mhm.
which would be relatively simple to do, and then but it doesn't need a big
margin. Yeah.
margin to do that. Anyway, this is what I've been working on, supposed to be concentrating on this half of the month. And I have been having trouble seeing and tracking what I'm doing. Here's where I am right now. And it's quite a bit different from last week. I've gotten quite a bit done.
No, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I love those.
She was showing those on her Flosstube, and she used, of course, the colors are the same. I used the colors that she did, but a different fabric, and so they look very, very, very 4th of July-y, and mine don't.
I think it's good though.
But I liked this color.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's cool.
So I bought this so that I could put this little guy.
The magnet board.
Well, yeah, and not only does this little thing have a regular inch measurement, but you can count the squares.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's got this.
Yeah, I have a.
I know you told me you had that,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I have a measuring thing like that.
But I mean, you said you had this board too.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I do is I stick it, and this is a Dritz 8x10 magnet board set. I stick it inside the sleeve of my tablet's case,
Oh yeah.
and it props it at exactly the right angle, and I can bring it then really close to what I'm doing, and then I can line this up so I can tell what line I'm on. So if I had done that earlier on a couple of these other things, but working on, sorry, I have a thread I don't want to lose here. Working on Moonlit Moth, when I was doing this tail here, I was getting so confused. And I used that, and I was like, oh yeah, I got that. I got it. It's easy. And
the pattern thing?
yeah, and then I lined it up this way for going this way on the thing. I'm like,
Nice.
awesome.
Where have you been all my life?
And look at this. Look how much I've gotten done.
Yeah.
And there's
that's
only one
cool.
mistake in here so far. I mean,
great.
in this that I've
Does
been
your
doing.
pattern keeper thing, does it not have a highlight bar?
Pattern Keeper is for digital things, and this
Right.
is a
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, I see.
yeah.
Physical copy.
This is a physical copy. It has this thing where you can take a picture and theoretically take it into Pattern Keeper. The problem with that is it can't highlight your colors, which is one of the things I like about it. But it also, you have to have the picture exactly squared on. And I just can't do that. I can't take a picture and have it be, and theoretically I could use tools in something and get it with the perspective right. I don't want to do that.
But it's also hard, to
But then it's not highlighted.
because not only are you
The
taking
perspective
the picture,
has to be right.
because
and-
you don't want to take it at an angle.
Right.
Now you could scan it, email it to your tablet, and pull it up, and then it would be straight. But
I don't want to do that. Especially since it's not going to highlight the colors for me anyway.
right.
All it's going to do is put the pattern up. Well, I have the pattern, and I found a way to make it work for me. The only problem is I can't enlarge it.
Right.
But I could take the pattern somewhere and enlarge it and do the
Enlarge
same
it
thing,
and
so.
use that, right.
So, when I was getting frustrated with my sock last week, by the way, I am almost back to where I was.
Oh.
And it is fitting better on my foot. Is it perfect? No, but this is the first sock I've ever made, so I'm all right.
Did you write it down so you
I
can
did.
do the second one? Good.
I did. And I keep the tail end of and I wanted to send my other thing with you so you could make it into a little cake for me.
So I can wind it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that way I could get it whenever we do our
Okay.
craft thing.
Yeah.
So, yes, I took up part of a week's work, and I have less than a week's work here, but, I mean, it's shorter, but it's fitting better. But when I was frustrated with my sock, I made a rose.
That's cute.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I made a
You
rose.
could put it on the toe of your sock.
Yeah, no. And then I painted this of a quail picture. It's from a picture I took. There's quail. There's quail everywhere outside, and these are little pink flowers. But I'm not used to watercolor. For acrylic, you do the light things. You do the light things last on top, and for watercolor, it's the other way around. And then you have to go around it and mask it off. And I don't have mask. I'm not buying mask. So I like this quail better than this quail. But this is I bought a different pad because you can't buy frames in that size that don't cost a fortune.
Oh.
I don't like the way I did the quail better. I like this quail, the way he looks better. His fur, not fur, what is that called?
Feathers.
Feathers?
Quails have feathers, not fur.
On both of them, what I don't like about it are the flowers. The flowers are better on the second one.
Hmm.
But I might just paint over the pink flowers with some green. And they're gone. Anyway,
I like his
They're
feet.
both cool. I think they're both cool.
I also, when I bought this, I bought paintbrushes. Do I have paintbrushes? They're in
Is it-
storage. I have about 5 million in storage for different things, for watercolor, for acrylic, I couldn't do it. I couldn't just not have real paintbrushes.
Yeah. So you got
Yeah.
some.
So, and then, this is driving me bananas because it's wiggling. It doesn't wiggle here. It wiggles over there.
What is that?
So, my employer, at the end of the
School year.
session,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
she does an open house, okay? And because she wants you to bring back all the lessons and the attendance sheets and all that, and she needs them back. But if you're going to go to her house, she wants to make it where she makes food like you wouldn't believe, and crafts and games, and you can stay or not. You can stay as long as you want. You can,
Oh, that's fun.
Anyway, she had this craft, and little tea strainer, looks like a heart. And this is the most interesting mason jar I've ever seen. It's a mason jar,
Oh, wow.
but it's curly,
Yeah.
right? And then she bought these. You could pick the color you wanted. You could pick this color straw you wanted.
Oh, fun.
And she had teas, and you could pick which one to put in your strainer,
Oh,
and
nice.
raw sugar, and she said, just shovel out what you want and put it in those
Fun.
things. And I was like,
It's nice. It's glass. You can make sun tea very easily. Just a single serving of sun tea.
yeah, and I was going to clean up the carafe of the new, my sister gave me their old, Robert, their old Keurig, and I thought, I can use that carafe to make some hot water for tea, because I don't have anything to put in the microwave to do it. All of my
You can also just use the Keurig without a pod in it.
Yeah.
We'll do a cupful.
Yeah, but
Understand.
that way I could decide how much I wanted, if I wanted to make it iced tea and,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
pour it over ice or whatever. Anyway, that is stuff that has nothing to do with cross stitch. Okay. So I had started this Luna by Chelsea Haynes of Annie B's Folk Art. And if I had had this thing here, this might actually be correct, but it is not.
Oh no.
So I started this front row twice, because the first time I didn't put the little yellow things in there. I saw them all as the same thing. And so I did it again. And I didn't realize that this first little tick thing here is not the same as all the others. So it is too short.
Oh no.
So this is hitting, the wing is going to hit in the wrong spot. And I looked at the rest of the pattern and I said, that's not going to really matter.
Is it fudgeable?
I decided, well, you know, because nothing
Yeah.
lines up with the very bottom, so it doesn't matter. And even if it did, it doesn't matter. So then
It's not a science project.
I counted, okay, and we all know what a bad idea that is.
No, I was gonna say. that's
And
not the
so
strong
it is,
suit.
I don't know what these are. One of them is one stitch too far over that way. So that means this wing is too wide, which means that I have to make the other wing exactly the same, because I am not gonna undo all of her. I would have to do all of her and go and undo all of, no, I'm not gonna do that. Because if anybody goes and goes, that is too wide and too short, they're not my friend.
They're not your friend.
And
Like Caroline from Everton says, you can't tell that it's off when you're 3 feet away walking past it. Doesn't matter.
anybody who has the same pattern may look at it and say, something's different about that. But I don't know them and I don't care.
That's what we used to say in orchestra. It's like nobody's sitting in the audience with a score going, oh, well, that's not the right tempo. That's not, you know. You can tell if there's a missed note or something, but generally, you know, you don't know if it's, you know, 96 beats per minute versus 98 beats
It's
per
your
minute.
artwork. You can do what you want.
So this is Under the Sea temperature chart designed by myself for Three Sisters Creative. And I put a turtle.
Oh, did you put it in there?
Let me see. Aww.
So this turtle is slightly different than the one that is up on the site. And if you purchased it already, because I'm going to put this version up there, but if you purchased it already and you want this version, I will happily send you the file. I looked at it, I was going to put it on, and I went, I think I could have designed that better. His little hands. So it is now hot. It is hotter than it should be.
So
now, see,
it's gross.
for May, generally May, you know, nice spring day is 100 degrees, okay? But it was 105 the other day.
It feels awful.
So I'm already in my pinks here.
Oh no.
And so the lighter pinks, we've had some of these pinks already. May has been a very weird month, and then it got cold. It was like 85 degrees.
Mm-hmm. I heard it's supposed to cool off.
Cold-ish.
It's
supposed to cool off in the next couple of days, I thought. I heard.
Oh
Coming
yeah, to the 93 or 90.
up. That's cool.
Okay, like I said, 100 degrees is a nice spring day. Just like for you guys who live in colder climates, you know, you don't think it's really cold until it's like, you know, 20.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I lived in Belgium, I would go out. There's a British guy that he's like standing in the rain with an umbrella and coat, and he's like, I'm freezing. And he goes, you Americans are crazy. You're walking around in shorts and t-shirts. I don't understand. And it's just what climate you're used to,
Yeah.
you know. And
Here in Arizona, we get cold if it's 70.
yeah, that's time for
And
a
really
sweater.
cold if it's 65.
So, yeah, so
50s, forget it.
it's unusual for it to be this warm this early, and then it was unusual for it to be only 85. April was strange too. This summer is going to be so weird. It's probably going to be 125 in July.
I am not looking forward to that.
Yeah. I did do some more work on my hands-on design. There's a hare in my garden berry. I've been looking at the template to try to make it work with what I've done. And I have a couple of options, one of which is I have another printout of the template and I could adjust it to where it'll work for my thing. So there's a couple of different things. So I'm just plugging away at it. I started on a bunny.
You see a bunny?
He's just barely started. He's just barely started. He's not a bunny yet. He got little ears. So I enjoy working on this when my eyes are like not having a good day. I pull it out.
Because they're big.
It's big. It's 20 count. I'm thinking I'm going to have to get my eyes checked for my diabetic eye exam. I'm like, these are new glasses. They should be working better than they are.
Mm.
But they were strongly encouraging me to get cataract surgery when I was there. And I'm like, I may have to do that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, in July. So I have another piece of haul. So in August, I plan to work on, for cross stitch camp, ruby-throated hummingbird. And she designed this on white,
Who designed
boomerang stitches.
that? No.
Why?
Dog.
So sad. I'll give him a lot of love later. So I ordered these from the same person, Tom and Lily. Tom and Lily Creations, and these are Swigart fabrics, and this is these are both 28 count. I thought I ordered 2 blues, to pick from 2 blues. I received a blue and a gray, but they are the colors I ordered. So, and they're hand-dyed fabrics, so
Yeah, it's a bluish kind of gray, but it is predominantly looks gray.
it's gray.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cool gray, which means it's a bluer gray, but in the picture it looked
Bluer.
a lot bluer. Not as blue as this one looked. And this one looks almost exactly like the picture. They are sparkly fabrics. And
What are they for?
I was going to pick one
for
to
the-
do this. And I think,
It's
so sad. I think I'm going to use this one.
Huh.
I think this one won't.
It's too sad.
I don't think it'll go with the bird as well. So I think this one.
I would recommend a Flosstube just because that I would wonder if that green would go with this blue
I don't know.
as opposed
Like
to
I said,
because this is a little more neutral.
the one that I thought this was is the one I thought I would use.
Mm-hmm.
But just in case, I wanted the brighter one. So, I don't know, like you say, and I have the flosses already pulled, at least
yeah.
most of them. There's like 100 flosses in that thing. Now, we haven't had WIP-GO called, so I don't know what I'm starting, but in June, I will concentrate on not just cross-stitch camp. I will be wanting to finish, hopefully finish, Winter Reindeer by Dirty Annie Southern Style. And this is where I am so far, which is completely counted wrong. I'm going to have to match this reindeer to this one over here. I don't know what's wrong with him, and I couldn't figure it out, but something's wrong. And then, and it may help to use this other thing that has, where I can go down and look at it. Plus, if I lay this on here, I can also put that ruler, if I sandwich fabric in between instead of the pattern.
To make sure you're straight across from the other side.
To see what exactly I did wrong and
Yeah.
where the error is, so I can mark the pattern.
Yeah.
And then the other one I'm going to concentrate on, and I didn't take the pattern out, I mean the one I'm working on out of here, sorry. It fits in here. This is Goodness and Mercy by Sweet Wing Studios, and I just absolutely love this bird, which I have every intention of turning into a quail. He needs a little top knot. So I don't have a lot done on it so far.
Who's that one by?
This is by Sweet Wing Studio.
Yeah.
One of the problems that I was encountering is that when I went to the attic and asked for fabric for this is the fabric that they recommended, and the first stitch of the white does not show up very well. And so I'm like, what am I doing? Once you cross it, it shows up just fine.
I was saying, it looks good.
Yeah, once you cross it, it shows up, but on the first cross, it doesn't so much.
The first half stitch, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to do the white first. It doesn't make sense I did a middle start on this. Anyway, half of the month I will concentrate on this. I will put aside all of the other things that I've been working on. Well, okay, maybe not crocheting. But I'll put aside all the other cross-stitch patterns that I've been tootling around with until I get my cross-stitch camp piece done. But I want to concentrate on these because I really, really want to finish these two. I really, really want to finish these two patterns. So that's why I put them on, concentrate on them. So that's where I am. And now I know I'm just making a Visconia. I only need 2 for that. I can just not do this one. No, but see, then I can just do a different one and have the Visconia be 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like lately I know hands-on design, that little
Bees got
cube,
knees.
bees that got knees, and those little cube finishes, and the blue flower, what we call the muffin design, the Festive Forest one. They all work on the same principle that the Viscornias work on, in that you do a back stitch line around the edge, and then you use that as your guide for sewing them together. So with the bees got knees, you make that cube by, you stitch the corners down like a Viscornia, the 2 sides, the 2 back stitch lines together.
Watched
and then
somebody explain that.
Yeah, and then the bottom points of the cube come together and they're stitched that's the same way as the muffin, you know, because the muffin you stitch it like a drum, but you join it, you know, on the ends, and then you bring the points down and join them the same way. So the principle is the same as the biscornu. It's just a slight different shape. You know, the biscornu you do two squares, you know, together, but it's the same idea. So I looked at that and thought, that's just like a biscornu. It's just a different shape, but it's the same principle, the same process.
Anyway, I'll have 3 of these. Excuse me. And only 2 of those. I mean, you only need 2.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But if I did that with all of them,
Mm-hmm.
I only bought 2 of the patterns. I plan to get the other 2, but not, you know, I'm like, I haven't finished this first one that I bought. That box I have could have the others on them. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. All right, well then now it's time for question of the week. Last week we asked who is your stitchy buddy, and we got a couple of replies about some kitties out there. And so that is.
I thought you said
sweet.
last week when you were editing the thing, I mean, when we were talking about it, that you were going to insert pictures of our stitching buddies.
I know.
And you didn't.
It was the middle of the night. I don't know. Nobody sent me the pictures of their stitching buddies.
I lost my thread that I said was right here.
It's probably stuck to something.
I'll be looking for it.
But so this week, our question of the week is, as we approach Memorial Day, what are your Memorial Day traditions? What's your favorite thing to do? Barbecue, goof around, swim, nothing? What do you like to do? We'd love to hear from you. As for us, sometimes we have like big family barbecues. Sometimes we just have lay low, hang out. Or
We haven't
just,
really had any recently.
Yeah, not too recently.
Since we lost Mom and Dad, it's less fun.
Yeah. So you lost your thread.
Huh?
You lost your thread.
I did. I'm
Is it
just,
stuck to your shirt, your clothes?
I'm slowly looking for it.
Okay. So please let us know what your favorite traditions are. What you like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as stories, so this was my last week of work at the Phoenix Symphony, and I'm moving up to an arts organization up in Scottsdale, and that starts next week, so I have a week off. But I have been going up for training a couple of times. Excuse me, and I'm going up there this week as well. But I do have some days off, so that'll be nice. But my colleagues at work threw me a goodbye party, and my boss was so nice. She's like, first of all, they didn't have any cake or sweets, so it was nice. They had like, as they said,
You found it.
oh, I found it. As you said, Naomi-friendly snacks. And here's the table. I'll put up a picture. They set with grass and gnomes and mushrooms. Because they know how I am. Yeah, gnomes and
That's
everything. A little hobbit door, a little gnome door. It was very sweet. Very sweet. And so it was nice. It was a really nice time. Bittersweet, because I am excited about the new job, but I'm not leaving because I'm unhappy. It's just a career move kind of thing, and I love the symphony and I love everyone there, and so it was hard to go. But my last day, you know how most people are like, oh, don't work too hard your last week, and I'm like, I was there till. Well, I was there late and almost every day last week, and then because I had all this, I just feel this huge responsibility, and like there's all this stuff I need to do and finish up, and then the last day even, I worked at, I can't even remember now. I had all kinds of stuff to do, like making some posters and making some, sending off things to print and making sure this was done and making sure those calls were made. And then at the end of the day, so one of the things I do is process invoices, and I was like, I have to get this stack of invoices done before I go. I know, it's like one of those things people are just like, just walk away. But I'm not that kind of person. So, and it just was, I was almost like nerve-wracking because I'm like trying to get out there, but also wanting to, finish and everything. And I had a friend waiting on me for we were going to get together for like a light dinner. And they were waiting for me, and I'm like, I gotta finish all this work. I don't know. It was very stressful. And I had been, so I don't know. I was there for 3 years. And I only had a cubicle of my own for 2 years. And somehow in that 2 years, I accumulated so much crap. Like little, decor. Like you would think, okay, I have some gnomes. But I also had a whole, I have this cabinet, and it had like a closet and then like file drawers. So it was a tall cabinet. And on top, I had all my Lego flowers because I started buying me Lego flowers. Yeah. So I had like a vase of individual Lego flowers, and then he bought me some little ones, like self-contained vases like that. Like you build the vase itself. And then a bonsai tree that started it all. And then, so that was all up there. So I had all that. But then I had, on this one shelf, I had a bust of Beethoven, 2 or 3 or 4 gnomes, and I had, just like all kinds, like a stuffed penguin from my school, and like all this stuff. I'm like, where did I get all this junk? How did I keep, and my frame and my lamp and my fan, those are normal things that you think, but then I had like some little crystal pen jars and like some other things and my business card holder that's mine, that like all this stuff and all these pens and all this stuff, and like in my drawers in the file cabinet, I had a whole little box of like tea and aspirin and, gum and all this, like, I had like a snack drawer. So I started taking stuff home. I didn't want to do it too soon, so I gave a very long notice. So I started taking stuff home kind of like last week. Did a couple of, truckloads. And then I also had from home, from IKEA, we had bought a while ago, that table that's by the window in my dining room. It's a long table like this. And then there's another bench that goes with it. And then there's a little stool that goes with it. But I took the stool to work because of my height. I have a chair that is up all the way, so that I can feel comfortable at my desk. But because I'm so short, my legs dangle. So I put that stool under the cubicle all the way. And I'd completely forgotten that it was there. And then, like the day before my last day, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to forget my stool. So when I got there on Friday morning, I pulled it out from under my desk and put it, kind of in the way where I would see it. And then I was trying to sit at my desk and do my work, and I'm like, oh, I need my stool. So I put it under there, and I put a reminder on my phone at like 5 minutes to 5.
Take your stool.
Don't forget your stool. And I kept snoozing it and kept snoozing it. And even with all that, during dinner with my friend, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have to send 2 emails because I'd forgotten to send. Like, oh. And I know I even thought about some things I think I forgot. And I'm like, I can't. At some point you just have to break it off. But anyway, but yeah, so I was all stressing about just everything. It's crazy.
When I worked at Family Life, when I was in Little Rock, I ended up getting laid off. They had a round of layoffs and, laid off a whole bunch of people. And I had been taking, earlier in the spring, I had been participating in a walking class, and then when it got hot, I would, the year before, I had been doing this walking class, and then when it got hot, we switched to doing it was actually a boxing class. There was a woman that worked there, her husband worked there, and she had done, I guess, like, you know, boxing training, you know, where they used to live. And so there were a few of us that would, you know, we were practicing, would do just physical fitness stuff, you know, but then also just practicing, learning how to spar and things like that. And so, so at one point, we had moved up into this. There was like an unfinished area in this building. We built it new. So anyway, on the third floor there was an unfinished area, and we used that to work out in. But because it was an unfinished area, and because it was, you know, getting warm up there, we had a fan, and I brought a fan from my home. It was one of the little round, you know, tabletop kind of things, and I had it up there, and the day that I was getting all my stuff, you know, when I got laid off, I forgot the fan. It was up there, and I never got it back. But yeah, that when I was in the last, you know, at one point after I got laid off, I did like a temp work at what was at that time the housing authority there in Little Rock, and because I worked there as a temp, I ended up not continuing on there. They hired. It's a long story, but anyway, so the woman that I was training, you know, again, I was like, you know, trying to be conscientious about all the stuff. What I did was I worked with this guy who hired contractors, you know, to help, like whenever they were going to build a building, or they were going to do, you know, construction work, whatever, in one of their facilities. They had to put the contracts out to bid. And so, like, say 5 people would bid on this project, and they would submit their proposals, and we would send them a contract package or whatever. And so I was thinking, you know, these are going out to somebody's office, and they're going to go in their files, and they're, you know, so, you know, I wanted to make it look as professional as possible, and so I would, you know, make nice clean copies, and we put them in envelopes and mail them out, you know, whatever. And when they sent us when the winning bid or whatever, you know, we would make copies of all contracts and send it out to them. And so when I was getting ready to leave that position, they hired somebody for that position, and so she was training with me. And what did I know? I had only worked there a couple months, but I was training her, and I just like it kind of cringe, because like she'd come, you know, like. She's sitting there eating her lunch, and her fingers are filthy, and she's like crunching up the papers and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah. and so I actually nearly averted disaster one time, because we had put together like 5 copies of this contract of the I guess they were, I don't know if they were for bids or whatever, but they had then. My boss came and said, "Oh, you know, we've modified this. You please replace these pages with these, right?" And so there were like, I think there were like 5 copies of this package that we were doing, and so we had the new pages, and we were supposed to go through these things and pull out the old pages, right? So I did some, and she did some, and we were going through, and at the end I thought, wait. These pages are supposed to be in one of these things, and so we had to go through it, because she had just skipped over one or something, and I'm like, you know, it would have gone out with the wrong pages and the wrong, you know.
You like struggle, because you like feel ownership, and you're like, you know, what if she does it wrong? But
yeah, it's like, yeah, after a while you have to say, you know.
So I bought, because I was doing craft shows and stuff like that, I went to a place where you can buy fixtures, secondhand fixtures from stores and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they were these metal, it would make into a triangle, and it had wheels. It sat into the wheel thing. but you could also take it out of that and just have it flat.
Mm-hmm.
And I put S hooks on there to hang paintings and stuff of mine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd had it a while. I had it in Albuquerque. I moved from here, right? And they wanted to do an art show or something, and I took it in there. And then periodically I would hang stuff on it to show it in this little showroom thing that we had. And when I left, I forgot it. And nobody contacted me and said, hey, your display is here.
Yeah.
John knew it was mine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, nobody said, you forgot your display. And it's not like it cost me a lot of money, but I would never be able to find that thing again. Never be able to find that thing again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially not probably with the price you paid either.
I think I paid a total of $15.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
so, but
What's funny is I went to a
it's
concert.
hard when you're leaving a place.
I know. It's like, well, and I'm like, I told Mark, like, I don't know how I accumulated so much junk. I think I was so excited to have my own space because 2 years ago when I got a cubicle, I was like, I have a cubicle, I'm going to decorate it, you know. So I kind of went overboard. But it's just, you know, somebody, you have something cute, you're like, oh, I'm going to put that on my desk, you know.
When I worked at Family Life, I had, you have like just little figurines around
Yeah,
your
but I mean,
computer
I
and this and
had
that
like a
and-
truckload.
I
I have like 3 boxes of stuff.
I had stuff when I was, right before I got injured at work. I had my own desk that my supervisor at that time had said, you need your own desk, right? And I used to let other people put their purse or whatever, I'd give them a drawer and a shelf and all that. But I had a lot of stuff there that was mine. I had drawing books, I had a t-shirt that I would put over my clothes to paint with. I had just all kinds of stuff like that. And then I got injured, and while I was injured, they changed supervisors. And this guy who was from a different program, I don't know why he was working there because he ended up going back to another program. I couldn't stand the guy. He was mean to the people. Okay? But he complained about not having, about that being mine and not having it. And so she decided that he could go through and distribute everything, and they threw away my t-shirt. They put my books out in the regular bookcases that they had. There was a reason they were in there. I was working in the office by that time.
Yeah.
You know, because I couldn't work in the program, but I was working in the office.
Yeah.
Did she come and say, hey, man, we have all of your stuff there. Is it okay if I throw it in a box and bring it to you?
Right.
I just said, sure.
Right.
No, they just put it all out.
Jeez.
And she let him do it.
Oh, no.
Okay? So I had a library card to the Tempe library, but it was under my name. So that I would use it. It was in our book for transport. So that when we went to the library or they went to the library, they could let them
Crybaby.
they would let them check out library books. Not only did she let that guy check out books for himself that he would take on the bus and take home,
Oh no.
okay? She did too. And it wasn't their library card. It wasn't even the company's library card because they wouldn't let you make a company one.
Yeah.
It had to be a personal one. I'm sorry, very sorry. And
There's a dog.
The doggy's crying.
And so, you go play. Go play. Go on.
Go keep the other dog company.
Go on. Go, sorry. Go play. Go play.
Say I don't want to.
So, you get rowdy? No.
As a tail about to knock things over.
Bad idea.
Oh, well maybe he'll just lay down.
So,
Oh!
sorry, we're just figuring this out, you know? So, I come back And I'm like,
Yeah.
there's overdue charges,
Oh, gosh.
which I'm liable for.
Uh-huh.
And not even a little bit,
Yeah.
a lot. And I said, where are these 2 books that I'm getting charged for? Oh, well, so-and-so, he doesn't even work at the program anymore. Why does he have a book of mine
Oh,
out?
my gosh.
And then her. And I said, no, absolutely no. You need to bring that book back and put it in the library. And you need to pay the fines, and
Yeah.
so does he.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how dare you?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
So I was very, very, very careful about taking my own things and what I did with my own things, even when I was the supervisor there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's so hard to remember to take all your stuff home. So it's so hard. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I just couldn't believe how much junk I accumulated. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I finally got it all out, and now I'm like, I can't take all this crap with me to my new job. I'm gonna have to go see. I'm gonna have a bigger office. I'm gonna have an actual office, but I'm gonna have. It's gonna be kind of my office plus like a box office waiting room area. So I'm like, I don't want to take like all my toys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to just take my fan and a couple things and then decorate it slowly. So they like, you know, what did they say? Like if you put a frog in water and then heat the water up, they won't notice. So
Yeah.
well, that's what happened.
I'll just, yeah, exactly. I'll just bring like 1 Lego flower, and then next week there's 2 Lego flowers, and then
I
another.
thought she only had 1. How did we get 10?
I don't know. And there's a squishmallow there too. Nobody ever minded my squishmallow, but I don't know how they'll feel about it. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's a huge change. I have a much bigger job with a lot of responsibilities. So I'm a little bit nervous. And the other thing I have to do this week is actually more study on the new system that I'm going to be working on. But
So how do you study the system without having the system?
I'm already.
Oh, you logged in there already?
I've had my email and my login to the system.
So you can log in there
Almost right
remote.
away.
You can log in there remotely.
Almost as soon as I accepted the job, even though I start June 2nd, I've been, like, I did training, and I went up, like, training online, and then I went up I've been up now for 2 different training sessions with people, you know, like how they do things there. And then I'm going to go Tuesday for another sort of transition meeting. But no, I've had the system, so I'm getting emails from both companies. Like, I had both outlooks on my phone. I'm like, oh my god, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, all these emails. But so it was sad because while I was at dinner, so this was probably between 5 and 6-ish, I was still able to get into my email and send those 2 emails that I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. And then I got home and I went to look at my email again and I couldn't get in. I was like, oh, they cut me off. But anyway, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, so it's a huge transition. I mean, it's crazy that I've been there so long and I'm gonna miss it. But so that's my life in flux right now.
We should probably go.
Yeah, I've got to go. I got to. It's late because we went to that concert today. We went to see Empire Strikes Back. Oh yeah, so I quit. You know, I ended my job yesterday, but then today I went back to a concert.
It's called the Busman's Hall.
Yeah, so I got to see everybody and say hi one last time. And, I mean, I'll be back. We're gonna get tickets. We love it. So it's not like I'll be strangers to them,
Yeah.
to my friends. But it was just funny to go back.
That was it was weird for me, you know, being in the symphony in Little Rock, and I ended at the end of the spring season in 2015. I did play the 4th of July concert that year. Was the last thing I did, but I didn't leave until October. And so, I was, packing my apartment off. So the new season that year started in September, I guess, or something. Late September or early October. I remember when the first concert of the season was. But I went. It must have been at the end of September, toward the end of September. So I went to hear, my colleagues play. And it was very bizarre to sit out in the audience,
Well,
because I had on occasion sat out in the audience for like certain pops things, or for maybe part of a concert where I didn't play all of the pieces of the concert or whatever.
But to not
but
I
to
felt
not
like
play at all.
Today when I went, and even last night after I got home, I was like, I'm not in the club anymore.
Yeah.
I don't need to go backstage and be in the tunnels under Symphony Hall and all that.
Yeah, and so it was very strange.
Oh, but that's the other thing I had to do yesterday. I had to set up the hall for the concert this weekend. I was like, all hot and sweaty. I'm like, this is my last day. I'm here setting up all this stuff for you people. No, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I feel like, I'm not a part of that club anymore. I'm joining a new club, and I've got friends up there and everything. But I really like it.
Well, and that was one reason
why.
One of the reasons, the primary reason I wanted to move out here was because all my family's out here. But because I had lots of good friends, and I liked my church and things like that. I had a life in Little Rock. I was there for 25 years, and so but I knew that if I wasn't playing in the symphony, I didn't have any real reason to be out there. I had moved out there specifically for the symphony, but also I didn't want to go and hear the orchestra and not be in it. That sort of feeling of like, ooh, it's bad enough even now when I go to symphony concerts to sit there and think, I used to do that. I used to play. I've played that piece before, and just that sort of nostalgic kind of feeling and weirdness. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us again, and we hope you guys are good. Let us know, answer our question of the week. Let us know what you do for Memorial Day. I have no plans. I have 0 plans. I have plans to do 0.
My mother used to say, I plan to be flat on my back.
Flat on my back, yeah. I plan to do 0, which is very attractive to me right now. So we hope that you have a great week, a good, safe Memorial Day, and we will see you next week. Bye.